What's up guys, I'm TJ at Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and this is our 2020 Yamaha YZ250FX bike build. Now, when I first got this bike, I felt instantly comfortable on it, and the longer I've had it, the more I've gotten to ride it, the more I've felt like Yamaha built this bike specifically for a guy like me. The kind of riding that I like to do is I like to get up in the mountains, do some single track, get into some technical rocky stuff. I like to get out to some higher speed desert stuff, and I like to hit up the moto track. So really, I like to do just a little bit of everything. I even enter a few desert races and enduro races throughout the season. With that being said, there are a few things that we felt we could do to this bike to just improve it a little bit better for those type of terrains and that type of riding. Now, there's two things that I want to focus on as we talk about this bike build. The first is performance and the other is protection. So with performance, one of the first things that I noticed is if I'd be coming into a corner and stall the bike, or if I was climbing a hill and stall, I'd go to start the bike and nothing would happen. It wouldn't click, nothing. And so I'd have to shift down into neutral, rock the bike back and forth a little bit, and then it'd fire right back up. So I did some research, found out that that was the stock battery. So we ended up throwing on the Tusk Lithium Pro battery, and that really helped solve the issue. The next thing that is really important for me is when I'm up in the mountains, I need to have a spark arrestor, and preferably I'd like the bike to be a little bit quieter. And so we went with the FMF 4.1 anodized exhaust with the carbon end cap. Not only does it look amazing, but it did what we needed it to do. It's got a spark arrestor, doesn't cut out any performance of the motor. It actually increases the performance, but it also makes the bike quieter as well. Now, the second area of performance that I want to talk about is cooling. So one of the things that we threw on this bike was the Tusk Universal Radiator Fan Kit. And this just helps to keep the bike cool in those times when I'm climbing some stuff slower, technical things that I'm not getting a lot of airflow through the radiator. That fan will kick on and help keep the bike cool and prolong the engine life. The other thing that we threw onto this bike was the high temperature radiator cap. And something cool about that is it actually has a little temperature gauge on it as well. And with all that, the last thing about cooling was the hoses. We ended up throwing on the Tusk radiator hoses. These help with the flow of the coolant, but they're also more durable, and they just give the bike a cool factory look, but you're not having to pay the full factory price. Now, another thing that adds to that factory look is the Dirt Trick Zirconium rear sprocket. This sprocket looks amazing, and it's one of the things that I really wanted to have on this bike just for the looks. But not only does it look great, it also is supposed to last 6 times longer than an aluminum sprocket. So to go with that, we added the gold X-ring chain from Primary Drive and the front Primary Drive sprocket. The next thing I want to talk about is controls. So one of the most important things that I wanted to throw on this bike build were the fast flex handlebars. I had surgery on my thumb back in October, and riding with the stock bars, I'd get done and I could actually feel my thumb being pretty sore, and it'd take a few days to recover from it. And these bars absorb a lot of impacts, a lot of vibrations and things. And when I get done riding now, I barely even notice that my thumb is sore. So it's been really nice for that. But also because I was out recovering with this thumb surgery, I'm not as in good of shape. And so I was getting arm pump, and these bars also actually reduce that as well. So it's been really good. I'm really pleased with the performance of the flex bars. So working our way out from the bars, next I want to talk about the levers. I'm kind of a shorter guy, so I kind of tend to go down a little more often when I can't touch the ground. So I always need breakaway levers, otherwise I'm replacing them all the time. So we went with the ASV C6 levers. These are awesome. They do exactly what they're supposed to do. And a cool thing about them too is that they have a 6-year warranty. So they'll replace anything that breaks within the 6 years that I've gotten these. And a nice thing as well is they're comfortable. I like the way they feel in my hands. Working our way all the way out, the ODI grips are, in my opinion, the best grips that you can get. I like that they're lock-on, they're super easy to install. I'm not having to worry about glue, and they absorb vibration well, they're comfortable. So we have the ODI MIG Pros on here, and we have the ODI grip donuts, just to prevent blisters for those times when you're on longer rides. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about with controls are the Tusk perch-mounted switches. We threw these on because with the flex bars, there's not a whole lot of space on the bars. So we needed to have a way to have our kill switch and our start switch. So those just free up space to be able to add the hand guards and things that I wanted to have on this bike build. So now that we've talked about controls up top, let's talk about foot pegs. We ended up going with the Fast Impact Moto pegs. And what I really like about these is they're a little bit wider than stock. They're also replaceable as far as the cleats go. So you can replace the whole top piece, but also they absorb vibration and impacts, just like the handlebars. So they're super nice for that as well on the rough, really technical, hard stuff. You don't have to feel those hard hits as much. And while we're talking about foot controls, as you can see, we have the Tusk aluminum brake pedal and also the shift lever. And I really like having these on my bike. I like to get them just because they're inexpensive, but they're good quality. And I don't have to worry about breaking the bank to have them. With the brake lever, you can see that we have the fast return spring as well. And I like that because it actually makes the brake adjustable. So you can adjust the way it feels. So the last point of contact that I want to talk about is the seat. As you can see, we have the Attack Graphics seat cover on here. And when you go from a stock seat to a seat with a seat cover, it's night and day. It helps me a lot with arm pump as well because I'm not gripping so tight. I know that means I should squeeze harder with my knees, but it helps me not have to sometimes. So I like having a gripper seat, and the Attack Graphics is a great option, and it's affordable. So the last item of performance on our list is the Tusk Recon Hybrid tire. Now this tire does really well in a lot of different terrains, but it does exceptionally well in the rocky stuff that you see behind me. So now that we've covered all of the performance upgrades, I want to talk now about the protection upgrades that we put on this bike. The first thing that I wanted to do was add some heat shields. The stock ones are pretty weak, they bend easily, and I actually know a guy that bent his back in a race and his foot kept getting caught on it. And so I wanted to get those. The P3 ones were really the best ones we could get out there. They're amazing, they're lightweight. They also do a great job of covering the full sides of each side of the exhaust. And so that's why we went with those ones. So another huge item of protection that I need is radiator guards. Like I said earlier, I'm not the best at staying on two wheels. So I need a way to be able to protect my radiators. And these Bulletproof Designs radiator guards are just that, they're bulletproof. I love that they're on the front of the radiator because that allows me to still utilize the radiator fan, but they also are just super durable and strong. And I don't have to worry about side impacts or front impacts and messing up radiators and ruining my day. Now, as many of you guys know, Acerbis does a great job of making plastics and protection items. And some of the ones we have on this build are the X Ultimate hand guards, the X Brake front disc guard, and the X Grip frame guards, along with the Acerbis chain slide and guide. And I went with that because they're super durable, but also there's a replacement piece for when it wears out, I can replace that super easy. And lastly, all the plastics on the bike are Acerbis, and it's wrapped in our Attack Graphics Roost graphic kit to help the bike to look really good for a long period of time, but also to protect those plastics. So just the last few items that I want to mention is we have the Tusk billet rear disc guard on this bike to just protect that rear rotor as well. And a few other Tusk bling items. We have the reservoir cap cover on the front brake and the rear brake, just to help, add some bling to the bike. Anyway, guys, this is our 2020 250FX bike build. If you've liked this video and you want to see more like it, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're needing any parts, apparel, or accessories, click the link below, or check out our website at RockyMountainATVMC.com. And don't forget, orders over $75 ship for free. I'm TJ, thanks for watching.